Welcome back. We're about to go under the rift for EG versus IMT. I was going to say we have a spicy draft, but actually it's pretty standard.
Except for the Draven.
Except for the Draven.
We have a spicy pick.
Woo!
I'm excited for this one. This is going to be really interesting. Pretty much any time you have something like Draven versus Aphelios, you must snowball on Draven. So there's such an obvious point on the map that both teams are looking towards, that EG is going to try to shut down or minimize loss on, that Immortals is going to try to snowball the game through. We're a little level 1 here. We'll see if Xerxes wants to try to pick up some orbs on the early game. And also going to be interested to see what he actually is going for. Is he ganking the range champions, going for those red orbs, or will he be playing more heavily for the ranged ones, or for the ranged champions, trying to get the Assassin Cane? We've been seeing more like Bruiser builds. It feels like the most common now is you kind of just build Bruiser, and then you choose your form based on the game itself, on how it's playing out.
Yep.
But you kind of default to Conqueror and Bruiser build, whether you're going to go blue or red, which I think makes some sense.
Church of Danny coming in with Danny Aphelios Blessed. I agree. Guys, pretty good at their champion, as it turns out. So I don't blame EG for taking it so early. Will be a fun 2v2 to watch develop, though.
Does he just tweet that out for every champion except Danny Syndra?
I think so.
Everything else is blessed. But that's Syndra.
That's Syndra.
Otherwise, they'd be on a 12-game winning streak.
10-game winning streak. That's
How
true.
could you?
And hey, by the way, an audio-only cast of the games is available through leagueday.gg. Well, your League Day casters, TJ and Cubby, will be keeping it in the action while you're stuck in traffic or doing whatever else your Saturday might require of you. So check him out, but you're also more than welcome to hang here with us, because look at the League of Legends we got right here. It's Xerxes farming the Krugs.
He is farming the Krugs, and he's going double small camp. So I'm wondering if he's going to do any sort of cheesy little early gank here, or if it is just the power clear, trying to get level 5 super fast. You can go Raptors up to Krugs, then go red, clear down. You get a really early respawn on the Raptors and Krugs. You can cycle them again. And then sometimes people like to do this straight into early Dragon solo and these types of plays, because this is the most experience you can get basically early on. Ignart going to have to be playing pretty defensive here. He is playing Ignite. He is playing Guardian. So defensive runes set up. Oh, uh-oh.
Nice fillet there, level 2, of course, for Destiny and Raze. And the chunkage comes through, as expected, for Draven.
Yeah, and that's pretty careless from Danny. You cannot be getting hooked early like that. It's level 2 to level 1. He wants to be in experience range, but the wave is pushing towards you, so there's no need to be that aggressive. And he lost half his health there. He does have red gun, so he will be able to heal up some of this, but you've got to be so careful about your positioning against these kind of lanes. They are looking for the kills constantly.
Excuse me, Jizuke? That angle was nuts.
Yeah.
Hitting insanity there with that chain.
Bend it like Beckham.
Yeah. Knows his way around LeBlanc, it seems like. Also, of note in the top lane, kind of cool to see the dual 1v1, but it is double Ignite, which is becoming very common with these top laners that have, some built-in dashes / mobility of their own. Just take Ignite, don't need the damn flash.
Yeah, exactly. I understand it. As someone who likes to play a lot of top lane myself, the best part about taking Ignite is that you can just blame your jungler if you die. You're like, well, it's Ignite versus Ignite. Come on, it's combat summoners, bro. You had to path top. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, look, Svenskeren heard you. He's going off here for Impact.
See?
Ooh, missed down for Revenge as well. Impact's going to go into his own mist. It's a missed battle here with Svenskeren. He's going to start the dive off. And Revenge looking real dead on my screen. That's first blood for Svenskeren and second blood to Revenge.
He will lose some minions here, but it was just the second blood. So still really good play here from EG. But yeah, I mean, Ignite top laners are just becoming so popular. Pretty much any top laner that has a dash these days, people are going it. I've even seen it on picks that are more traditionally considered defensive, like Shen, because Shen can actually even have kill pressure early. So the early push here, the early trading went the way of Impact, and they just go straight in onto him. The return damage, though, from Revenge was very, very high. He got the true damage from the snip. He got the Ignite down. The tower shots coming through. They get the kill, but because he went back to base, without a lot of farm, it's still pretty good. Impact gets a good early buy, gets to save his teleport. Revenge has to spend his. So if Svenskeren comes back towards top again, it's going to be really, really bad for Revenge. It's often the second gank that really costs you. If you die without TP available, it is rough. Xerxes was spotted coming in, so he queued over the wall there. Now should see the ward debris and know that he was spotted. But Jizuke was trying to do a little bit of baiting action, and had he gone for that, Svenskeren would have been around.
Revenge getting some damage done onto Impact.
Yeah.
Pretty low. Sheen versus Doran Shield Amp Term. Sheen lots of damage, but Impact not a whole lot of defense to speak of in the 1v1. There are no Ignites left, but TP already pulled in for Revenge. Means the Impact is definitely vulnerable, so he's going to have to get back and TP back in before Xerxes finishes off this tower dive. Although Svenskeren is covering, because he knows the Impact's a pretty high priority target right now.
Yep, but Xerxes is level 5, so he does have the advantage here. Has been spotted. Insanity on the move here as well, but you can actually see Ignar was heading up, so they have the cover here. Tahm Kench moving up. Aphelios heading back towards bot. And a lot of action up on this top side, and because both teams kind of responded appropriately, nothing is going to come from it. Impact taking a pretty bad trade after immediately walking back to the lane, though, does cost him, and it might actually remove his TP advantage. They had gotten that out, and it will. So that rough little bit of trading, Revenge evens that out, and he'll be the one to actually have TP first now. So well played by Revenge. After getting dove early, he did get a kill, so the gold was fairly even, and getting that TP advantage out means he's in a good spot.
Yeah, definitely could be kind of volatile, especially as the Ignites come back off cooldown, but a lot of attention being pulled towards the mid lane right now. Xerxes has been kind of hovering that left brush for quite a while. He's currently finishing off the Scuttle Crab. Part of me wonders, is this just like an advanced part of the experience route through the jungle? Are you camping the mid lane, trying to hope a couple creeps
I'm
die?
covering you, bro. Don't worry. Quit leashing my XP.
Realm whoop, nice there. I like the dive attempt, but Impact very respectfully already dashing back towards the wall into the mist. And now bottom side could be the problem here. It's a 2v1 for Danny. Danny there, ooh, nice little gravity gun, but can't get himself hooked, but clears the wave successfully without getting killed as Xerxes over the wall. Speedrun strats here, clipping through the rift, as Xerxes is going to be A-okay with the blast plant and some teammates nearby.
Yeah, you can see the assist pings down there. Ignar's got to move. I mean, yeah, Danny cleared out that first wave. He's going to have to give up the entire second wave. Like, you're just going to have to give all this up, and you're losing tower plates, so the roam from Ignar, really not worth it. He is not exactly this like crazy engage champ on Tahm Kench, not really having a very explosive roam, and it will cost them most of a wave. It will cost them a tower plate here, and does put Aphelios behind, but I guess, maybe Ignar's read is we can't lane 2v2, so I'm trying to drop people up. I'm trying to pull Destiny out of that 2v2 bot, make him match my roams, but so far, Immortals playing it pretty well there. We are, unfortunately, into a pause. Hopefully, we'll be quick.
Yeah, don't know what it's for, but as soon as we have more info, we will pass it on. Definitely rough in the bottom side, though, for Danny. In Danny's defense, or I guess Ignar's defense, Danny knew what he signed up for when he joined this team, right? Ignar's always out of there, even on something like Tahm Kench. I do agree, though, that the amount of time he's spending, even though it does help kind of answer some of the pressure that's happening, especially to the mid lane, is like he's already, 20 CS down in a bad matchup? Like, it's not going to get better if the 1v2 is prolonged.
Yeah, exactly. So the update is the player did disconnect, so they're looking to reconnect. Hopefully there will be no lingering issues, and we'll be able to quickly get back into it.
Hard to play the game disconnected.
It is true. Yeah, I've found that. I liked the initial roam from Ignar. I think the move to cover the dive top, after Impact has a bad trade with Revenge, they're looking to set up a dive. They're actually looking to do to Impact what, EG wanted to do to Revenge, which was actually get a kill or push him off without TP, because that's where you get the big advantage. So I think that initial roam from Ignar to cover that was really smart, was really well timed. But I question hanging around so long, because if you're like Blitz or your Nautilus or your Luna or whatever, you have a very explosive engage, right? A low-level Tahm Kench, honestly, any level Tahm Kench does not have an explosive engage. Let's not lie. It doesn't get any better really later. The W is very slow. Your Q is, oh no, I'm slowed.
Yeah,
right? Like, who cares? So it just, the extended play up on the top side, I don't think is worthwhile. And even if you're disadvantaged in the 2v2, it's important that you're getting the Aphelios farm, that you're getting him experience. So a little bit of a lead for Rays on the bottom side. Going to be happy to have cashed in on the plate. Going to be happy to have created a CS advantage for him. But EG is still looking pretty good overall.
Right, and kind of Tahm Kench as a support is so interesting as well, because typically one of the reasons supports can afford to be so proactive, and we've seen a ton of this around the world, but obviously kept my eyes mostly on the LCS. Like the amount of activity supports have started to generate is only scaled up exponentially as the weeks in the LCS have gone on. And Tahm Kench actually needs his XP, right? Ultimates are typically good on every champion, but Tahm Kench is missing a whole part of his kit if he doesn't have his ultimate. Leona's got plenty of stuns without her ultimate. Yeah. Tahm Kench literally cannot devour you if he doesn't skill his ultimate.
Yeah, I hear you. It's Leona also can't use her ultimate if she doesn't have her ultimate phase stream.
Right, but she has 2 stuns, and the ultimate adds a third one.
It's the
Tahm
most
Kench
important
is
part.
A slow, this awful dive that's too slow, like you mentioned, a shield, and nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's a defensive support with no defense.
Yeah.
Just a tongue.
Absolutely. You just a frog with a tongue doing his best out there
Just try it.
until you hit 6. I agree. I mean, I think it's really important. Level 6 is huge. It is a very powerful ultimate now. It is on a long cooldown as a result. But yeah, hitting 6 is huge, especially if you're playing against a team that has quite a lot of dive. You're looking at Gwen, you're looking at Kayn, the ability for even the Draven to reach backline with the ultimate. So yeah, you want some safety for the Aphelios because that may be your kind of get out of jail free card is this ultimate from Tahm Kench. So getting experience important there. And we've seen both teams also playing very heavily around mid. Xerxes kept going back towards mid, but warding often spotted him. I think he is there less to make the proactive play and more to make the reactive play because Lee Sin plus LeBlanc is such a powerful combo as far as the 2v1. So I think he's been really hovering a lot, mostly just trying to make sure that Insanity is safe and can farm and can kind of get his gold.
Kind of like drift on by for the orb farm, get in there, spin on him, get out. I mean, you got to Kayn, more. It's funny. Kayn is such an interesting champion because, his gank power isn't that interesting, especially if he's, unevolved Kayn. So he needs to farm, but he also needs to hit enemy champions to get to the form that does anything.
Yeah.
So you do need to really battle this, overwhelming desire to want to power farm and also the need to hit champions so you level up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so maybe Xerxes split the difference. I'm telling you, he's going stealing a couple XP every now and then. It's that he doesn't know it.
Yeah, exactly. It's shady. These junglers. You can't trust them.
I don't trust them.
They're hanging around in the Raptor pit. They're leeching your experience.
They tell me it's I'm just covering your wave.
Let me just push this out for you.
Exactly.
No, bro, I'm freezing. Yeah. Back off.
I'll get us in the tower. You can take a recall, right? I'm next to you. Get off the cannon. They smite it. I'm like,
It's true, man. Kayn does have to kind of walk that line, though, right? Because to your point, it's you're weak early, but you need to fight enough that you can get your form. Because if you don't get your form, you really are not a real champion.
You're weak forever.
It's kind of that line. You try to take a lot of quick trades, little skirmishes where it isn't the full commitment. But we are back to live. We're back into the game here. I wonder if it's going to be Eclipse Draven here.
I hope so.
We have the early lethality. Could be Duskblade. I feel like that's less common. People generally want more of that middle ground and not just the pure offensive, straight up one-shot style. Insanity though, threatening a move, does not have the Realm Warp, so I think it will just be a little bit of a trip for vision.
Yep, just getting the Herald info. Tells toward the back of the pit. Oh, we found some Raptors to farm. That's pretty sweet. Gonna go ahead and he touched one. And Xerxes get out of there. Never mind, he finished off the camp. I think there was only a couple small ones left. Dazuke is hanging out with the blue buff. Hook there onto Danny. Level 4 Tahm Kench. Gonna be a flash out of Aphelios. Does ulti back there to gravity gun them down, but Danny just down 2 summoners now.
Yeah, and now it's going to be about the repeat. You want to see Immortals set up a play, try to take out Danny, especially pre-6. If they can get down there before Tahm Kench actually gets 6, punish these summoners being down. Insanity is moving. A lot of people moving down here. Sensaren's coming as well.
Ignite, actually battling back here. Danny firing away onto Destiny. The dive well missed from Tahm Kench, but Ray's now going to be caught out. What a great lantern though for Destiny. Right into the waiting arms of Raze.
Yeah, that was a great lantern, but the gank from Svenskeren evens things right back out. Gets both the summoners off of Raze. They're not able to cash in on the kill, and it's going to allow them to reset. The cost is up here on screen, taking the Rift Herald in that top lane. We can see Revenge getting aggressive here, Impact. Taking the bad end of that trade.
And Xerxes now just trying to clean up all the camps. Level 7 now for the Kayn. Impacto roaming around alongside Jizuke and Svenskeren. There are no free heralds on EG's watch. EG actually maybe going to take it themselves here.
Does Xerxes stay around to try to steal this? It looks like he wants to. No way.
Yeah, he's in the wall, but can't really do much. Has to pop out to smite the Rift Herald, and that would be probably a one-way trip, and not even close to a guaranteed steal. So does indeed back away instead, as IMT going to take their recalls there. So Rift Herald over to EG is nice, continuing to stay proactive despite bottom lane being a little bit dicey, let's say. 20 CS still up for Raze.
Yep, but the advantage there is kind of equalized in the mid lane, right? Jizuke had that mid prio. He is able to actually move over, help them get the Herald. Svenskeren, very effective, forces out the summoners on bot side, gets up towards that top side, still takes over that Herald. Cost Impact probably a couple CS under the tower because he had to actually move away from Revenge, who was pushing in, but largely collected most of his wave as well. So EG feeling pretty good about it. Immortals slightly ahead as far as the gold does go. But a very even game overall, and it's been a lot of posturing, a lot of movement, a lot of looking for plays, and not a lot of that full commitment to the plays, because largely both teams have kind of been matching each other at every turn.
All right, well now Dragon is on the menu. Pretty late for the first one, but always nice to grab it here. IMT going to pull it fully out. Igna did have some vision, now been turned off by the control ward, and this will be an easy take here for IMT. Bottom lane can't really threaten them because they're constantly getting pushed in, and there's so much back and forth in mid. IMT going to easily take that one away.
Yep, going to be able to grab that, no problem. Let's see if there's any sort of answer on the top side, since Garen does have the Herald. He's heading out towards bot, so looks like he wants to, at the very least, cover. No, and as they're recalling, he's going to change his mind. So everyone just kind of converging to mid. You can see Thresh moving up towards mid, Kayn again heading down towards here, but there's just been so much vision from EG. You know, you look at these wards on the side brush, wards littering this area, another ward here. You know, EG has so much coverage here for Jizuke to be able to play aggressively, to be able to back off every time these roams are happening. And Immortals trying to do their best to clean it out, but haven't really been able to take down too much.
In fact, really nice trade onto Revenge, actually. This is such an interesting matchup to watch. Impact has done a really good job of spacing out of Gwen's Q using his own dash. So it's been kind of a fun back and forth. Impact actually up CS right now, and they've been mostly isolated, so definitely one that we might see more often. Again, Gwen is always going to be in the game at this point, so if you're going to give her away, finding ways to counteract it with common champions is nice. But otherwise, it's been, very quiet here between these two. It's IMT up a little bit of gold, and that will change as soon as his Herald crashes for these plates.
Yeah, Ignar threatening the wraparound. He does finally hit 6 here.
Hooray!
That is a big deal for them. The TP flanks, so double TP.
Oh no, the Rift Rail's charging in, but now EG are committing for it. Ulti out of Danny Infernum is good, but it's not enough damage. Realm Warp over the top. And Svenskeren now trying to fight away Insanity as the Devour was used onto Danny. Revenge, though, going to get himself exhausted, but the Gwen zone is just too powerful. Ignite down for Revenge. Kills Danny, and Svenskeren is dead as well.
Nicely done, the double TP. We'll have to see how much it costs them, though, in the solo lanes, as EG has the push in mid, in top. They're working away at these towers, so will the extended play even be positive for them in gold? Ignar survives, and they are losing plates. You know, they're losing plates across the map. It's 2 plates mid. We'll see how many do go down top. It's going to be a second at least here with the Sheen, with the attack speed. So, you know, that is kind of the equivalent of 2 kills taken back, plus they are still getting experience and they're denying it from their opponents. So despite it being a pretty good play overall, with the double TP coming through, it's a very aggressive move from EG. The Herald charge, they still get 2 plates there, they get 2 plates mid, they get 2 plates top. So it is 6 plates, plus you're getting 2 teleports out and you lose 2 kills, which, you know, is fairly costly. But, you know, honestly, at the end of the day, I still think it's a good play for EG.
Yeah, I mean, seems like it on value just fine as far as the gold transfer goes. Gold is still even, actually, and IMT were very slightly ahead before that play started, so EG will be more than happy with that result. Yeah, for sure.
So it's pretty much dead even now at this point. I do like the proactive move, though, and Impact trying to go aggressive here. He has the Sunderer.
Sunderer versus Rift, make a revenge, lose the 1v1 right now, though. A solo kill out of Impact. He just cannot be stopped.
Yeah, not able to stop him there. Revenge goes down. He didn't have his ulti. He used the ulti on the bottom side with the TP, so Impact sees his window. That could be a very different fight if Revenge had the R available. The damage with that is so huge, but Impact knows his window. That is another extended punishment there. Now they're looking mid lane.
Okay, does start it off. Svenskeren looking to finish off the kill. Does get it, but at what cost? He flashes away. Triumph kicks in, and Svenskeren will live the dive, but Zerx is roaming through. He is ready to ult somebody. Draven ulti tries to clip Sven, doesn't quite find it. Danny, though, left alone in a 1v2 with Ignar. Roaming, easy pick up there for Raze as he cashes in on the stacks.
Yeah, the cash in there is big. Immortals needed something back after that play bought, the extended play. You know, we already talked about all the turret plates going over. Then Impact gets a solo kill on Revenge, who's missing his ult off the bottom TP. They lose the top lane tower. They lose a kill mid. So they needed something. The cash in is big for Raze. As Danny has kind of been left out, just hung out to dry in this game. The Essence Reaver was already completed for Raze, so he has the early Essence Reaver here, going to be able to just non-stop be spamming the W for the attack speed, for the movement speed, juggling axes constantly here. And we'll see where he takes us with this lethality, but He's kind of their main win condition right now, and they're down 700 gold at this point. We can see it one more time. Impact on the hunt here for Revenge. And Revenge is playing without Flash, so once you're in on this fight, there's really no way out whatsoever. The dunk comes through. That is the ulti advantage. Impact making it look easy, and honestly, it was not that close. And this is just Destiny on a sneaky play. Danny didn't realize he was there. I think Danny assumed that Thresh was roaming, thought he was covered with the wards, but Destiny has snuck into the brush, gets in that kill, and that is 700 gold here onto Raze.
All right, well, bottom side here, IMT once again trying to bully poor Danny. Devour is up and will have to be used because Xerxes is on the run. Still might make the play, but the Lantern instead will pull him out of it. IMT thinking better of the 3v2 dive.
Going to be able to push him back there. And it may in fact actually be that Duskblade with the Caulfields coming through, the Essence Reaper on top. So very aggressive, very squishy build here from Raze. The amount of burst you can put out with these types of builds is incredible. And as I said, you're going to have non-stop usage of the W, of the axes, and the skilled Draven players can get multiple axes up in the air at the same time, actually playing with 3+ axes at times, which can be pretty crazy if you can really control it, allowing you to get those axes out even with the extra attack speed on every single auto, which really can optimize your damage, but it's tough to do, right? Especially when you have the threat of LeBlanc piling in, of Lee Sin, of Diego to kind of worry about. Because he is that big win condition for them. They are really bleeding gold now. They're even going to likely lose the tier 2 mid. And this went from Immortals in full control to Immortals are just trying to stabilize. Like, they are just losing everything.
Yeah, this is actually such a good sequence of plays here for EG. 2 quick ones in mid. Actually even getting to get the third charge as well. It is maximum value today from that second Rift Herald. Very nicely orchestrated there by Evil Geniuses. Impact's feeling good. He's got his solo kill. And EG, they're going to take now 4 towers to 0, boost that gold lead all the way up to about 4,000 in the lead.
Okay, Prowler's Claw coming through. So I will admit
That's not the one I expected.
No, it's not what I expected either. So he does have a lethality passive. So, that is maybe what it is about. We see this with the Varus builds. I'm not as up to date on the Draven builds, to be honest. So I don't know if this is as common or not. Draven obviously just not that popular in pro plays or in solo queue these days, so I don't see a lot of it. But a very interesting build, very aggressive, very high damage. We'll have to see if you can pull any sort of outplays off with the Prowler's Claw. Sometimes there's the opportunity to avoid skill shots and avoid abilities, things like that with it. But Kane's still looking for the transform, and Insanity falling behind. Topside is going the way of Impact, and EG are just kind of walking around the map, taking everything. Xerxes has not been able to get enough fights to really get that early transform, and they're just kind of falling further and further and further behind. Their one advantage right now is the Dragons, but with this gold lead for EG, you're expecting them to be able to take away the third.
Right, and that's the nice thing, Danny, now that he's grouped with his team, life is a lot better, Weak side specialist Danny, rest of the team's picking up the slack, and now he can just go ahead and be a Aphelios. As IMT, we'll see if they can push things back again. Trying to boost up the old Rise, see if Insanity can get the side lane play happening. I mean, again, as you mentioned in draft, they do have good 1-3-1. But Revenge and Insanity a little far away from really contesting those side lanes right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's just been kind of Immortals, a couple plays didn't go their way. And ever since that double TV bot, they've kind of just gone back in their shell and have just allowed EG really to dictate the pace of the game. And EG is a team that is not shy about doing that whatsoever. They're a very aggressive team. If you're not willing to fight them, they're just going to take objectives. They're just going to take away your jungle camps. And have been doing a really good job at that. Shizuke now out to the side lane here, and Insanity's going to have to be very careful. Did not elect to actually go Merc Treads. Most players do in this matchup. Instead, he's just kind of sitting on the casual Null Magic Mantle, which maybe is going to be like a late Banshee's Veil or something like that, but likely he'll just sit on that little bit of flat MR to help deal with the flat Spell Pen that Shizuke has. He'll probably fully get the Archangel's Staff and then maybe do something with that later.
All right, well, it's forward stuff nice and quick for Shizuke, so everyone is a target. All right, now for this LeBlanc. As EG lining up for probably this next Dragon here, looking to claim their first and keep that quick soul out of the hands of IMT. As we've noted, it is going to be Raze having to position pretty carefully in the upcoming team fight.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward for Draven, right? If you can actually get in there and get the autos out on some of these squishy targets, you can change a game. One crit with this sort of build where you actually have, a fair bit of lethality in it onto someone like Jizuke or Danny, these squishy targets, can absolutely change a team fight. That can be the difference between, Xerxes going in and just immediately executing them and really taking over or not. So we'll see if Raze is going to be able to do it, or if he mispositions at all and you get kick flashed in by Svenskeren into the waiting arms of Jizuke, like, you'll just instantly die.
It's kind of funny that, like, in some ways, both LeBlanc and Draven are, like, mid-range burst champions, right? I think Jizuke will win any sort of 1v1 encounter, but especially when maybe some lifesteal, some shields kick in for Raze.
Yeah.
LeBlanc cannot jump in quite so carelessly once Draven is up and ready. So
Absolutely.
it'll be fun to see them go head-to-head. There's a lot of damage on both sides here.
Well, and that's why Draven used to kind of go for that more defensive build. You think back to the old school build, more with, like, the previous Death Dance, as well as Bloodthirster, and just kind of stacking a lot of lifesteals, because you knew that you were fairly vulnerable. You don't have any sort of a dash. You have to be in the mix to really be getting damage done, and that's why Draven is considered very difficult to play. There's not a lot of room for error here. And he's also not scaling as well as a lot of the other champions that are meta, so you have to be really willing to play aggressive to push the pace. And with this sort of build, we'll see if Raze is going to be able to do it. But so far, EG just kind of gifted over the dragon. Immortals still unwilling to contest, and EG has just done a good job setting up the vision.
Ignar trying to get out of there, gets himself blue smited. Impact Roman down, but Ignar going to have to flash, and Ignar will get out of there. But did cost him quite a lot to escape.
Man, just look at all the vision on this side of the map, though, from EG. Like, this whole area is basically all just blue wards. There's one deep ward and one pink ward by Immortals base. They basically conceded the bot side of the map completely, and as a result, Insanity has to back off the tower. He's not safe to actually farm here. So this may be another tier 2 going the way of Jizuke. We can see Destiny is back to base. He's trying to move up to actually cover this. And finally, the transform will come through.
It's going to be Red Cane, but very late here is Jizuke is getting aggressed. Stun, that's a kill. Raze! Actually, the one to cash it in. That is quite fortunate.
He even got a shutdown because there was such a farm lead. So Jizuke had the farm shutdown available. He gets the cash in. How much gold did he actually get off that? It was off my screen. I didn't quite catch exactly how much it was, but it must have been a massive amount. We'll see when he goes back to base what he actually has completed, but Immortals now off the back of that pick, want to get active on the map. We'll see if they're willing to push here, try to get a tower down or something.
Oh, I really want one axe to fly into somebody's face and see how much damage Raze is doing just right now without having spent that gold. But IMT, they have different plans as they're going to move over to the left-hand side, clear out this crab, and maybe try and threaten for Baron. Because again, still 0 towers in that column right now for IMT, so not a lot of map to play with.
No, they have been basically playing exclusively on their side of the map. Jizuke back up, so doesn't end up resulting in any objectives, but still it's a nice kill. It is the flash down, the shutdown on the Draven, really exactly where they would want it to go. But it is kind of concerning when you see farm shutdowns being built up, because it just means that honestly EG is straight up out farming you. They had a farm shutdown built up on LeBlanc. They also have one built up on the 0-2-0 Aphelios, so it's like, it is somewhat problematic that EG are just kind of playing the side lanes better. Because they are less often grouped, they're picking up more farm overall. But Immortals out to the side lane here, trying to set a trap here for Jizuke.
Oh, that's such a good hook by Destiny. Boxes there as well. Not enough damage, but Ignite's still going, and now they're going to pop the speed boost, and Jizuke is going to be killed by Revenge.
Nicely done. Distort it forward. I think he wanted to distort in and place a ward. And that's a pretty common play. Like, it really looks silly there because he distorted into the waiting arms of a hook, but a lot of the LeBlanc players like to distort forward, drop a ward, distort back. Unfortunately for him, Destiny, right place, right time. Really nice play. They get the pick, and back-to-back picks now on Jizuke. Doesn't look like, again, they're willing to actually start anything up. The wave is actually at the Immortals base here, has been pushed in by Impact. Mid lane being pushed in as well. And if you're not willing to start up the Baron, you're just kind of bleeding farm. So Immortals are getting like the first step of a pick, but they don't seem to really have the confidence to go for more than that.
I mean, Raze has 3 items, right? He went back and finished LDR. Like, does plenty of damage, and with Jizuke off the table, it feels like that's a good spot to at least try poking a bit further in, but IMT, only surface level goals they've achieved right now. They did at least get a tower. They actually took out the top outer, but with mid still being up and pretty healthy by the looks of things on the minimap, it is just so tough with these long lanes constantly pushing towards your base. Like, Insanity is basically a full-time janitor out the front of his Nexus. He has to just clean minions from out of there. And Dazuke's back again, but he's just not afraid. Destiny's going to get basically half his health lost in two quick abilities.
Yeah, even more than that, and now cut out here.
Oh my goodness, Impact, why did he do so much damage? Insanity burning low, the Ignite is good enough. Impact's going to grab the kill. I was looking for the body, but it's too far away. Oh, we found it. Impact going to go ahead and possess the Soul of Rise. And EG going to keep pushing through.
And honestly, the Wave States have just told the story of this game. Immortals are just playing on their side of the map permanently, right? They have only taken that one tower on the top side. Every time there's any sort of a scrap, it's on Immortals' side of the map. It's EG that are playing aggressive. And, you know, I get that EG did get themselves into a pretty good spot, but, like, you wouldn't believe that Immortals had an early lead. You wouldn't believe that this was a very, very close game, and they're still in it. But they have got to be willing to fight for some of these things. They've got to be willing to defend their side of the map, or you're just going to allow EG to constantly find the plays that they want to make. And when they're picking and choosing what they fight, they are going to be coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, Dazuke, his 2 deaths have been at the enemy blue buff and the Baron Pit, right? Very far forward. As it's been a lot of tower defense here for IMT, and EG again just pushing forward. We know EG are not afraid to fight, but unfortunately for IMT, they don't feel quite the same level of confidence even when they do find a pick. So again, you have to protect this Draven, right? Race is basically all of your plan right now, but Draven hitting nothing is about as bad as Draven dying trying to hit something.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're just actually giving up gold across all of these different roles, you are going to be falling further and further behind. I mean, it gets to a situation where it's like, yeah, Draven is really strong, but how long will he remain strong compared to the rest of the game?
Oh, the root on the Sven Scaring, but the hook did not land, not quite coordinated, and now Ignite diving in with the W. Inferno out of Danny does a good amount of splash damage, and IMT, no casualties, but they're just going to have to fall back.
Yeah, and Jizuki was threatening on the side there. They had to back it up. You get splashed low, double distort. Could have killed them off. They're trying to push in here, but it's difficult to make it.
Oh, Xerxes just chunked. I don't think they can go at all. Jizuki keeping them out. I mean, EG have full control of the river. They're going to deny the 3rd dragon again from IMT and just keep pushing forward. EG just relentless. This is not the same, like, destroying you, completely dominating gold lead EG kind of game, but the feel of the game is similar. They are just constantly pressuring you.
I mean, they're dictating the pace of the game.
Right.
Absolutely. They're choosing where there are fights. They're choosing where there are plays. Immortals now finally going for something aggressive.
But Impact's just getting in there. 1v1 looking good. TP coming through. Everfrost is nice. Insanity off the back of the Realm Wall finds a shot down, but Jizuke explodes Revenge. And that chain's going to miss, and unfortunately, Jizuke is not going to chase. Instead, he'll flash, but he would have gone back in if that one had hit.
Yeah, just the trade there. They did flash out, so he is able to escape. Nice play, though, from Immortals, and a proactive one finally coming out from them. Now moving up towards the top side, trying to take over this area. A smaller point, but it is something that matters in a situation like this when Draven is so important, is also that, you know, all of your armor pen, all of your lethality, the lethality in particular is worth less against the Mountain Drake. The double Mountain Dragon gives you some of that additional flat armor, and lethality becomes more and more valuable the lower armor you are. So we can see this play one more time. Impact definitely was going to win the 1v1, but it was about the Realm Warp coming through. He knows there's no way out, so he turns, he fights. The stopwatch, though, saving Revenge, and Insanity at this point in the game does a lot of damage. That one combo was a good 30-40% of the health off of Impact, and forcing the flash there out from Jizuke. If that Q hits, it might have just been a kill straight up.
Well, Rabadon's done that for Jizuke, actually. I don't know if he had it last time, but definitely also got plenty of damage on his front as well. As it looks like Ray's building RFC, going to make it a little bit easier to prod and poke here. But again, Jizuke is diving in. Xerxes going to be chunked. Not all that tanky right now on the Kane. Just a Gore Drinker and a Sterix, and the wrong boots to fight up against LeBlanc.
Yep. I do like the RFC here because it's basically what you said, right? It's kind of about that one auto. You're trying to get that one auto down on someone like Jizuke who doesn't have sustain in the kit. And that is going to stick, right? If you get a rapid fire crit with 4 items on Draven and you're hitting that LeBlanc, Jizuke probably has to base, right? Or he has to get Honey Fruit or something at the very least. It won't stick as much on someone like Danny because he's going to have a little bit more sustain kind of built in with the runes, with the setup here. But Danny himself is getting to a point where he's quite threatening. The Infinity Edge has been completed now. And yes, Draven is still ahead, but you know, Phelios is going to be relevant, right? The farm bounty is just increasing.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually ahead of farm over the Draven now. You know, they've just done a better job of playing out these side lanes. You know, look at all 3 of the solo lanes. They're ahead.
Yeah, it is funny to to basically see the ADs have inverted score lines, and one of the bounties is worth 50 to 100 gold more on Danny's side. But it is very telling about what's been happening in this game. Array's items also, like, they cost different things to Danny's build, which is very expensive for the most part, right? Collector, I guess, being pretty cheap, but IE definitely not being all that cheap. So Ray's, he's happy, but he needs to auto people, right? That's the big thing. You don't do anything if axes aren't flying to faces.
I mean, he's been strong like the whole game pretty much. And he basically hasn't fought anyone in 20 minutes, right? He did get that one kill on LeBlanc, but it was literally one axe on a low HP retreating member. I can't remember the last time I really saw him fighting.
There we go.
The flash.
Ulti out onto Ignite, Realm Warp as well. IMT maybe found the window they've been looking for. Impact gonna get chunked pretty low. Insanity though in the mix, but Revenge diving in onto Ignar is gonna get 1 kill. Insanity takes out Impact, and now IMT. They pop the Shirelles, but watch Jizuke. There he goes around the side. Ray's gonna be the target. He just flashed into the enemy team though. Ray's has to make it happen. Takes down Danny. But can he stay? IMT are going to try for the Baron.
Oh, Jizuke almost took him out, but yeah, Ray's just straight up flashes in, uses the Prowler's Claw on Danny. Oh, the best way to stay safe, just kill off the enemy team. And Ray's on this Baron. Revenge trying to zone off Stun Scare, and the Baron's getting low.
Yeah, they're going to get it here. Jizuke cannot go back in. Revenge, a great little bit of zoning there to keep Sven Skaren out, and that is the Baron claimed by IMT, but Jizuke not letting them get away with this one. Everfrost pop, but Jizuke dodges it, and IMT will finally escape the pit.
Oh, Immortals, after all this time, getting a huge play there, getting multiple kills, getting the Baron back in the gold lead now. They pull the trigger. They have been so patient this game, so passive throughout most of it. And they just find the opportunity here. Danny having to flash the stand aside. The ulti is actually avoided as well. But, we can see immediately Ignar's put incredibly low. Jizuke is actually pretty far away from the fight. Impact goes down. Jizuke is arriving to the fight, and the fight's already decided, right? Your top laner is dead. Your support is effectively dead. You see the amount of damage he can actually get down, but Ray just flashes in, Prowler's Claws in, and takes down Danny, and EG weren't able to get any sort of an opportunity actually stealing this.
And now IMT going to try and take the third dragon finally for themselves. Are going to grab it here. Plenty of DPS to go around. They grab it. We'll see what they can do with the Red Bull Baron buff, though, because they need to kind of open up this game a little bit more. That is what we were asking for, right, this whole game. Finally, a nice proactive move, but continuing the strength you already have is really important as Impact. Going to look to fight Revenge. But Gwen's pretty strong right now. Gwen's really strong right now, and Impact's gonna leave. Revenge grabs the tower there with the help of the Baroned up minions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know if he wants this fight. You're down a level, you're down items at this point, plus the Baron buff and the Baron minions. That is terrifying, and Impact does have to use the ult in retreat, is the trade of ults, but you gotta go heal up. There's no way you can wave clear this, I don't think, unless the whole team comes over to defend.
Yeah, but then you just lose more, right? And IMT don't actually have the mid outer yet. They'll finally take it there, but Revenge applying so much pressure with these double Baron cannons. Now the tier 2 and mid's gonna fall. They're even gonna dive on it. Ignite, such an easy target, and Raze just deletes Tom Kench.
Where did he go? Oh my god, now Realm Warp down on bot side. Sven Skaren.
Woo! They're in there. Xerxes popping off with a big W. Zones out Jizuke and Sven. Insanity on a killing spree, takes down Impact. Insanity diving in close, gets the double kill as he takes down Danny. And IMT in one fell swoop might take this game.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do it. I think they're going to close this one out. It's just 2 members of EG. They got nothing to say.
All right, they're going to dive in through, but it's not going to be enough. The Bud Late Ace will finish off the game as IMT will take out EG's Nexus and hand them one of their very rare losses.
Nicely done there by Immortals.